Picture a graph. Two lines start at zero. The first line shoots up fast, steep, aggressive, almost vertical. That's your income. It hits $300,000, $400,000. It looks like escape velocity. But right underneath it, there's a second line, 5-year spending. And instead of staying low, it chases the first line, step for step, dollar for dollar, until the space between them, the gap that's supposed to become your wealth, never actually appears. Now zoom out 10 years. You've earned $4 million, maybe $5 million. And yet that gap, it's still razor thin. Or worse, non-existent. You look rich. On paper, everything checks out. But in reality, you're still one disruption away from stress. Hey, I'm Brian. And I spend way too much time thinking about why people who earn the most often feel the most financially trapped. In the next few minutes, I'm going to break down exactly how this happens, where the money actually goes, and why high income alone might be the thing keeping you stuck. If you want more breakdowns like this, hit subscribe, because this one might change how you see your paycheck forever. There's a belief that's so deeply embedded, you probably don't even question it anymore. If you earn a high income, you will eventually become wealthy. It sounds obvious, logical, almost guaranteed. But the data tells a very different story. According to a study published by the White Coat Investor, a significant percentage of physicians, people earning well over $250,000 annually, still report living paycheck to paycheck well into their 40s and 50s. Think about that for a second. You're making more in a year than most households will ever see, and yet financially, it feels tight, constrained, fragile. Or take a report from CNBC, which found that even among individuals earning over $100,000 a year, nearly 40% still struggle to cover a $1,000 emergency without stress. So the question isn't whether you earn enough. The question is, where does it all go? Because if high income automatically created wealth, this wouldn't be happening at scale. And yet it is, consistently, predictably, almost mechanically. So what's really going on underneath the surface? Before you even earn your first real paycheck, you're already behind. Let's take a typical high-income path, say medicine. You graduate in your early 30s, not your early 20s. That's a full decade of lost earning potential. But more importantly, it's a decade of lost compound growth. If you had invested just $20,000 per year from age 22 to age 32, at a modest 7% return, you'd be sitting on roughly $300,000 before your career even starts. Instead, you're not at positive $300,000. You're at negative $200,000 to negative $300,000 in student loans. So your net worth doesn't start at zero. It starts at negative $250,000. Now layer on interest. At 6%, that debt alone costs you $15,000 per year just to stand still. And while your peers in other industries are already investing, compounding, and building optionality, you're digging out of a hole. So when your first big paycheck finally hits, it doesn't feel like excess. It feels like relief. And that's where the real problem begins. Because financially, you're trying to catch up. But structurally, you're starting 10 years late with a negative balance sheet and a psychological need to finally breathe. And that combination is expensive. There's a moment that happens, almost like a dam breaking. For years, you've delayed everything. Cheap apartments, long hours, watching other people live while you're still in training. You've told yourself, later. And then suddenly, later arrives. Your first real paycheck hits your account. And for the first time in your adult life, you feel something dangerous. Permission. I call this the deferred reward rebound. It's not greed. It's not irresponsibility. It's emotional math. You're not thinking, I want to spend recklessly. You're thinking, I've earned this. So you upgrade the apartment. Not to be flashy, just to feel normal. You buy the car. Not to impress, just to match your peers. You start saying yes to things you used to avoid. Travel, dinners, convenience, time-saving services. And every single decision feels rational in isolation. Because compared to where you came from, it is an upgrade you deserve. But here's the problem. Your lifestyle doesn't rise once. It recalibrates permanently. That new baseline, the nicer apartment, the car payment, the higher monthly burn, locks in fixed costs that don't adjust downward when life changes. And now, instead of building wealth, your income is quietly being redirected into maintaining a life that feels necessary. You're no longer just earning money. You're feeding a system, and that system gets very, very expensive. If you're new here and just subscribed, comment your name below. I read every comment and shout out new subscribers in my next video. I do appreciate you joining me on this finance journey. So let's make this painfully concrete. Meet Dr. A. Dr. A earns $350,000 per year. On paper, that's elite income. After federal, state, and payroll taxes, that drops to roughly $210,000 take home. Now that's about $17,500 per month hitting the account. Now watch what happens next. Housing comes first. A reasonable home in a good neighborhood with peers. Mortgage, property taxes, insurance. That's $6,000 per month. Student loans? $250,000 at 6%. That's a $3,000 monthly payment. Car payment. Not exotic. Just appropriate for the income bracket. $1,200. Insurance, utilities, internet. Another $1,500. Groceries, dining, lifestyle spending. $3,000. Travel, subscriptions, convenience services. $1,800. And we haven't even touched investing meaningfully yet. Add it up. That's $16,500 in monthly outflow against $17,500 coming in, which leaves Dr. A with $1,000. $1,000 of margin on a $350,000 income. That's not wealth. That's pressure in disguise. Because now every unexpected expense, a medical bill, a home repair, a dip in income, doesn't just hurt. It destabilizes everything. And here's where the cycle tightens. When your margin is that thin, stress goes up. And when stress goes up, spending often follows. Small upgrades, quick wins, little comforts that make the pressure feel manageable. I call this the stress-spend loop. You feel the pressure, so you spend to relieve it, which reduces your margin, which increases the pressure. And now you're not just earning and spending. You're trapped in a feedback loop. So what's actually driving most of this? Because it's not random. It's concentrated. If you zoom in, almost all of the financial damage comes from just 3 decisions. Not 100 small ones. 3 big levers. First, the house. A $4,000 monthly mortgage versus a $6,000 one doesn't feel like a massive difference in the moment. It feels like upgrading your environment, your safety, your identity. But that $2,000 gap, that's $24,000 per year. Over 10 years, that's $240,000 before investment growth. Second, the car. You can drive a reliable vehicle for $500 per month. But in your income bracket, that starts to feel out of place. So you upgrade to a $1,200 payment. That extra $700 per month becomes $8,400 per year. Again, compounding silently in the background. Third, private schooling or lifestyle equivalents. Tuition, programs, activities, $2,000 to $3,000 per month, easily. And here's the key. None of these decisions feel reckless. They feel aligned. With your peers. With your identity. With the life you believe your income is supposed to support. This is identity signaling pressure. You're not just buying a house. You're buying confirmation that you've made it. You're not just choosing a car. You're matching the environment you now belong to. Stack these 3 levers together. Housing, car, schooling, and you're easily looking at $10,000 to $12,000 per month. That's 70 to 80% of your take-home pay, locked into fixed costs. Before investing, before flexibility, before freedom. And here's the irony. From the outside, it looks like wealth. But internally, you've financed your own anxiety. Now let's run a parallel scenario. Same income. Same starting point. Meet Dr. B. Dr. B also earns $350,000 per year. Same $210,000 take home. Same $17,500 per month. But instead of letting spending chase income, Dr. B caps her lifestyle at $120,000 per year. That's $10,000 per month. Not deprivation, just a deliberate ceiling. Now picture those same 2 lines from the beginning. Income is still high, still rising. But this time, spending stays flat and the space between them, that gap, starts to widen. Month by month, year by year, Dr. B now has $7,500 per month of surplus. That's $90,000 per year being invested. At a 7% return, so 5 over 10 years, that grows to roughly $1,200,000. Same career, same income, completely different outcome. But here's where it gets even more powerful. Because Dr. B's lifestyle is capped at $120,000 per year, her freedom number, the amount she needs invested to sustain her life, is dramatically lower. At a 4% withdrawal rate, fifth, she needs about $3 million to be financially independent. Dr. A, spending $200,000 per year, needs $5 million. So Dr. B isn't just investing more. She's aiming at a closer target. That's the double advantage. Higher savings rate, lower finish line. Now zoom out and look at those two graphs again. Dr. A's income line is high, but the spending line hugs it tightly. There's almost no separation. Dr. B's income line is identical, but the spending line stays low, creating a wide expanding wedge between the two. That wedge? That's wealth. That's optionality. That's time. Because rich isn't about how high your income line goes. It's about how wide you can make that gap. So how do you actually do this in real life? Because nobody maintains a massive savings gap through discipline alone. You do it structurally. Dr. B doesn't rely on motivation. She uses a system I call the invisible income framework. The moment money hits her account, it disappears before her lifestyle can absorb it. Retirement contributions are automated. Brokerage investments are automated. Debt payments are automated. A fixed percentage gets routed away immediately into accounts that are psychologically harder to touch. What lands in checking is not her income, it's her spending allowance. That distinction matters, because the human brain adapts incredibly fast to whatever remains visible. Tell 5. And there's another rule built into the system, the 90-day fixed cost rule. Any upgrade that increases recurring monthly expenses, bigger house, luxury car, private club membership, has to survive a 90-day waiting period before the decision gets made. Why? Because impulse spending fades, identity pressure fades, emotional exhaustion fades, but fixed costs stay. A one-time purchase hurts once. 5. A recurring payment recruits every future paycheck into the decision. So the goal isn't to stop enjoying money. The goal is to prevent temporary emotions from creating permanent obligations. That's the system. Simple, automatic, structural, and most importantly, it works even when life gets chaotic. Now maybe you're hearing all this and thinking, okay, but I didn't work this hard just to live like a miser. Fair objection. You shouldn't build a life where every dollar feels guilty. That's not the point. The point is learning the difference between enjoying your income and financing a lifestyle you can never step away from. Because those are not the same thing. This is where the concept of freedom units becomes powerful. Instead of pricing purchases in dollars, 5, you price them in life energy. That luxury SUV isn't just an extra $700 per month. It might represent 3 extra years before financial independence. That oversized mortgage isn't just a nicer kitchen. It may equal 600 additional shifts worked suddenly. Spending stops being abstract. You start seeing purchases as trade-offs against time, autonomy, flexibility. And something interesting happens. Your spending line naturally flattens. Not because you're forcing it down, but because your priorities become clearer. The biggest financial trap for high-income earners isn't low pay, bad investing, or lack of intelligence. It's allowing lifestyle growth to consume every dollar that income creates. Because if your spending rises at the same speed as your paycheck, your wealth never actually forms. You can earn $4 million over a decade and still feel financially fragile. But the moment you widen the wedge, the gap between what you earn and what you keep, the entire trajectory changes. More margin, more investing, more freedom, less anxiety. So here's the challenge. Open your banking app tonight and calculate one number, your monthly wedge. What comes in versus what actually stays. No guesses, no rounding, just the truth. Then ask yourself, is your income buying freedom or maintaining pressure? Buck 5. And I want to hear your answer in the comments. What's the single expense category that expands the fastest whenever your income increases? If this video helped you see money differently, hit the like button. Seriously, those signals help this video reach more people trapped in the exact same cycle.